Hi, everybody. This is Caroline Sotheby, and welcome to Up, Down, and Around Town. Okay, there's another half-hour show. I hope you can sit down. We have two individuals coming. They sort of got volunteered by Scott Gillespie, and maybe you'd like to introduce yourselves.
Hi, I'm Noelle Gillespie. I'm Scott's wife and co-founder of the Downriver Detroit Student Film Consortium.
Okay, and
And I'm Tim Porter. I'm an instructor with the DD SFC, and this is my first year, and it's been great.
okay. Beforehand, he showed us a comic that we'll be talking about, which transpired just this past year.
Yeah, this was the first year we did that. It was really fun.
Okay. Anyway, for some people that have no idea what we're talking about, who are they and what are they doing? You said with the kids now, you actually started in 2016. You want to give us a little history on that? How
Sure.
did Scott and all you people get involved?
Scott had retired, and I believe he was at Wilson at a career day as a filmmaker. He was doing independent films. And one of the students there, who's actually on our logo back then, he asked how he could get into his films. And he came home and said, I have an idea. We're going to redo this film thing, and we're going to do it with kids who are at risk, kids that just need a place to go, are struggling, have some, things going on, or just need a safe place to come. We started the first year, I think we had 14 kids. This year we have 44 kids. We started with high schoolers. Throughout the years, then we added junior high. And slowly some siblings kind of trickled in, and now we have what we call our littles.
Oh, yeah.
And so they do special projects, a lot of public service announcements about basically just being good people and be happy, and they like their dance videos. So that's how we got started, and now we're up to 44 kids.
And you're still planning on going?
We're still going. We're still going. We've had films all around the world. In Ukraine, you would never think that they were having film festival, but we've sent kids to New York, a large group 2 years ago. 17 of us, I believe. I think we had 20 total, 17 kids and 3 adults, maybe, and then we had what we do is we have a couple of the kids that age out after they graduate from high school, and they came back to be mentors,
Okay.
which is awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we have a couple of those that kind of came with us and helped out with the supervision. It's a big group of kids, and it's New York City, and maneuvering all that, and going to the film festival and just showing them, different things
Yeah.
that they've heard of their whole life and maybe will never get to see again. So that was a fun trip. We've had somebody go to Japan to see a film there that he had a part in. We've had Ohio, Cleveland, Chicago.
So you get around.
You get around, yeah.
Yeah, it helps.
Yeah.
We'll have to find out more about how you can get in the program because that's a big. How did you get involved with this?
That's a good question. I met Scott. I'm an artist at the DCA. I have a studio there. And I met him, while I was painting. He'd come down and fix my paintings when I messed them up. And that was a joke between me and him. He'd always tell me he'd fix my paintings. But he's just a really good guy, and he'd come down and sit in my studio, and we'd talk. And I knew what he was doing. I knew he did the film consortium. And he asked me one year to do a painting for him for a poster. And so I did a large 64 by 48 painting. It's in the DCA upstairs. I'm sure you've seen it. It's all the
Beautiful.
kids.
Beautiful.
It's all the kids sitting on the steps, and it was just a great opportunity to do that painting. I'd never done that many people, sitting in an environment and just, with the perspective and
Yeah.
everything. It was really challenging. So I've done a couple of those for him, for posters for his awards banquet. And I was talking about doing some kind of a comic program through DCA or doing something. And I think he heard me talking about it one day, and he came up to me and he said, "Hey, I'd love for you to do this for the, the DDSFC." And I said, "Absolutely, I think that would be great." So me and Carol, one of the other instructors there, she's an artist at the DCA also. She helped me pull some things together. Scott got the kids together, and we met and discussed it, and I got some ideas of what they wanted and kind of set some specs up for them and just let them go. I didn't even do more than that. I just kind of said, this is
Really?
a format, this is what you have to do. Write the story, illustrate the comic, and they just did excellent.
Really?
They just did a beautiful job. I actually felt like I wasn't a very good artist after.
Well, you know what? Like I had,
They were so good.
yeah, we can probably show them. You have the pictures of all
Yeah.
of them on there. Now, that was your first group that you
That was
worked with?
this year was the first time I worked with Scott's group. Yeah, I've known him for years now, but yeah, this first time I worked with his group.
He's been a great addition
And,
as one of our instructors, mentors.
Yeah, it's
What
been
type
great.
of paintings do you usually do? What's your love?
I do a lot of acrylic,
You do?
mixed medium, yeah, watercolor.
Okay.
Yeah, I mostly show at the DCA. I haven't done much. I haven't shown much up in Detroit or anything, but I'll probably go up there at some point. But the kids, I would love to just, have some, some of those kids I think could be incredible artists if given the opportunity to go to school or even just show in some galleries. So hopefully at some point I can talk to Scott about that, opportunities for him in galleries. In fact, one of the girls, Gina, I talked into putting some stuff in one of the DCA shows.
Oh, awesome.
And she put these little,
great.
yeah, she put these little hand-knitted kind of Pokemon looking, like they were kind of, Japanese manga looking
Okay.
Pokemon looking things, but they were all hand knitted in
Wow.
a teapot and stuff. So it was in our Alice in Wonderland show. So it was beautiful what she did. Like I said, those kids are so talented. It makes me feel like, I should be sweeping up after them.
Hey, but I think originally, when you people started with the group, it was more or less trying to take care of kids that needed some direction, right?
Yeah.
Right. It's an eclectic mix. They all have some adversity going on, whether it's, some trauma or just family life, or maybe they just are uncomfortable at school and they don't have friends. And that probably my favorite part of the group is just watching this group of, some kids are athletic, some kids are artists, some kids just keep to themselves, and they come, and it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what you do at school. It doesn't matter. We have kids from all school districts, but even the ones that say go to Roosevelt, that maybe they wouldn't talk to each other in the hall before,
No, they do.
Yeah, they kind
really,
of watch
they really
out.
get along.
They
at
get
the-
along,
they get
and
along
that's
so well.
probably the number one rule.
Okay.
Nobody, gets picked on. Nobody is negative to another one. If there's any issue at all, you come to an instructor.
I
There
think there's
really
probably been
isn't.
some-
They have so much respect for one another, and it's just a safe place for some kids that maybe just didn't know what to do in life or where they fit in.
Yeah, I think
And,
a few of them have actually made good friends with each other.
Really,
Yes.
that's
Yeah.
the best, part. And it may take a couple weeks or months to even pull them out of their shell or whatever. So it's just different, things. And thank goodness we have these amazing instructors like Tim who volunteer
many do you
all
have?
their time. and we just, I can't even count, I'd have to count.
I
And then
can
we
imagine.
have a couple that just volunteer and help because we feed the kids when we get together, so we need help doing that. And, you know, it's a lot. Get them all, they take a break and feed them. And we have, you know, our local, like, Glowfish Studios, who are just good sponsors. And
Would you say
and
10
in the
to 15?
community, and but
More,
I'd
maybe?
say we have about 10, and they have different specialties. So, like, you
Yeah.
know, we have a musician, our Joey Dagda, and we have Joanne Lanigan, and
She's a makeup.
yeah,
isn't she?
and we
that's-
have, you know, Megan, who's our professional makeup person, and we have people that just have their little niches, Paul, and, you know, and our sound guy, Steve, who teaches the kids sound. We have Calvin, who does our editing and has taught the kids to edit, and then those kids have graduated and come back and they do our editing for us, so that's awesome. You know, they want to
Yeah.
be part of the group.
Yeah, they learn some really nice
They
life
learn
skills.
some nice, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And
we've
they don't
seen-
have to be in front of the camera. You know, they're not comfortable. They can do whatever they want to do. They can just come and be there and
Yeah.
draw or figure out what props do we need, what storylines do we need. Maybe they just have an idea, but they just don't want anything to do with the camera. That's fine. We just find some place for them to be.
Well, just
Yeah,
like over
so-
here, if you come and volunteer, you can be in front of the camera or behind.
Right.
And they're both different situations
Right.
in the different field too.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Okay, maybe we can lift that up and at
Oh, you
least
wanna-
give them
yeah,
an
we can
idea what
take
we're
a-
talking about.
Yeah,
But
so this was a comic book. Should I put it this way or?
yeah, it's going on
Okay.
that one there.
Yeah, this is all 7 of the students. So I did the cover illustration.
Uh-huh.
And we wanted to show who the kids were. And Scott actually concepted this. He said, I'd
Did
like
he?
some astronauts. I want them to look heroic and, and so I, took that and made the illustration. And then the insides, of course, are all the kids' art. They each had 3 pages. This is Eleanor's. She did beautiful. She was the first one done. She was so excited about it.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's just a gorgeous. So they each had 3 pages. They wrote their own stories, drew their own illustrations. This is Joanna's. Extremely graphic, black and white. Nicholas's. They're all different types of art. He's very much into what they call rubber hose art or
Oh, really?
comics. That's the old Fleischer Studios from the 1930s. Betty Boop.
We're going back in
Yeah,
time,
oh yeah,
right?
Yeah.
Betty Boop.
Yeah.
Even Walt Disney had a bit
And
of
they
that.
were,
And this fella here does that kind of art.
No
It's very,
kidding, really?
If you look,
Some of
yeah,
them
if you
are
look,
very old
if you
souls,
see the,
I think.
if you see
Yeah.
the art, it's very
Uh-huh.
kind of old 1930s rubber hose is what they call it because their arms,
well, did they come by chance to know it, or
I
did
think they see it. There was a game out 5 years ago called Cuphead, and it was based on Fleischer Studios.
Oh, really?
1930s.
So that
and I
was-
think a lot of the kids got
Yeah.
introduced to that old comic style through that game. Is where I
Okay.
think that came from.
All right.
But they all have their styles. This is Jeannie, I'm sorry, and she's very manga.
Okay.
She likes the pretty mangas and the princesses with the spear or the what do you call those, the
I don't know.
trident or whatever. I don't know. I don't
It's
know
a
manga.
learning
I
process
don't
for
know
me
manga
too,
either.
yeah.
But she's great. Noah, he's fantastic. He's the one. He went to Japan, correct?
Yeah,
For-
Noah went to Japan.
Yeah, for some of the work he did.
Mm-hmm.
And he's extremely, I think he was in the anime show that they had in Detroit. They had an anime comic show, and I think he did some work up there. He was telling me how it had to read
Oh.
left to right, and he had to kind of do everything backwards or something.
Oh,
'cause
really?
They read differently, yeah.
Oh, yeah?
So,
Yeah.
but he's extremely accomplished.
And he's at Wayne State right now. Noah.
Yes,
he
he's-
graduated
yeah.
out of our program, came back as a mentor and instructor. So
Beautiful.
yeah.
Very clever, very smart. Yeah, he's a good kid. Chloe, she did hers on her phone, on an app on her phone.
really?
And the full
Okay.
colored one over here did an excellent job. They all blew my mind. Christian, he came in towards the end, and he's incredible with the stories. He could be a Spielberg, I think, someday, just with the storylines
Well,
that
you
he
never
comes
know.
up.
You
You
can.
never know, absolutely not.
That's
yeah.
right.
So,
It's
but
a
they
start
they
someplace.
did a great job with that. I was
Yeah.
thoroughly impressed with what they
Whoops,
did.
that's
I
okay.
couldn't, I'll pick it up.
Okay.
Yeah, I was extremely impressed with what they did.
So far at the end of the season, you already went to Detroit?
We did. We went to the DIA. We had, I'm not sure how many films this year, I think 6 that got into the Detroit Institute of Art Film Festival. I think we've probably had, in the last 6 years, I believe, we've had films go in there. So the kids get to come and see their films on the big screen at the DIA, which is awesome. A lot of
Yeah.
them may never, get to see something like that. So it's a beautiful venue, and
Very
it's a great film
prestigious,
festival.
yeah.
Yeah.
So we've had them in, there's 2 categories. I'm not sure the age group, but I don't know if it's like 8th grade and below, and then the high school group, I believe.
Okay.
So we had it in both groups.
Okay. Scott sent some material, so I guess we're going to have Joel put it on. Okay, here we go.
Okay, it's me and Eleanor. We're just brainstorming during one of and there's our group. Just
Yeah,
being
that's
crazy.
a
the
comic
art
book. That's the
group.
last day. That's when they finished the comic. That's
Yeah,
what that was.
Oh,
yeah.
is
our
it? Yeah.
instructor, and these are our kids. That's Andy's a great instructor. Joanna.
I think she was showing me some art she did on the computer that day. Oh, that's your green screen there.
Yeah, that's our green,
The green
screen.
screen?
That's some of our littles group. Oh, that's filming we were doing Major Tom. Return of Major Tom, I think.
Eleanor,
Eleanor.
she's extremely creative. Oh, and that's my interview. Me and Carol, we were the two that
Oh, yeah.
helped with the comics.
At least you have space there, too,
Yeah,
which helps.
it is a nice space for us, and that's New York.
New York.
Rainy, yep, that's the group that went to New York.
NBC, Rainbow Room.
Yeah.
So how long were you there, though?
3 days, I think.
3 days,
I
yeah.
think Friday to maybe Monday morning. I want to say, yeah.
Okay.
I'll tell you, Scott really cares for those kids too. I think was it last week? There was a kid who was in there for 7 years, I think.
Yeah.
I think the program's been going on
Oh,
for 9.
yeah.
There was one boy that started 7 years ago. This is his last year there, and I
Milo,
could tell.
yeah.
I could tell it was affecting Scott. He was getting choked
Really?
up when he introduced to me. I was.
Well, that's
He really
you
cares.
guys become family.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly, exactly.
So how
very-
often do you meet, though? Once a week or what?
So when we start the season, generally it's in January, we'll do 4 weeks of everybody in the group. They meet each other. We kind of circle up. All the instructors are there. We have different things they kind of go through. We have film day. They have makeup day. They all get a chance to be the director and the camera person and the sound and the clapper. They take turns doing
A
that.
little bit of
We,
everything, then, huh? Yeah.
do a day where everybody goes to Glowfish and
Oh,
they get
really?
in. We inundate that poor little shop, and they all pick an item, and they have to tell a story about the item that they pick. We do that, and they write down. They do storyboards or ideas, and then slowly, then we get small groups when it's filming, when it's time to work on the projects.
Yeah.
Then he brings in whoever's going to work on the project. And we'll do that, and we meet every Sunday. And then on Wednesday nights, he does a studio where some of the kids that are just the older kids that maybe are working on something separate, they can just come and work in the studio time.
Okay. So for a lot of people out there that don't realize, you have your facility, well, at the DCA,
Yeah,
right?
81 Chestnut.
81
DCA,
Chestnut
yeah.
Street. That's
Yeah.
always nice to remember. Sometimes when I forget the name, yeah, 81 Chestnut. Anyway, so you've been there.
I've
with-
been at the DCA since 2018, I
Oh,
believe.
you have? Yeah.
Yeah, I've had a studio there. So I've been there for a while.
Yeah, okay. And usually Rich Campbell will get something on you guys.
Rich
over
is there quite often, yeah.
Yeah.
He films a lot of things. I think he did some for the Film Consortium also, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah, did he?
We've had
Yeah, he's-
so many people that have
Everyone,
volunteered
yeah,
time.
if you ask them,
helped.
they will help, yeah.
Yeah. Well,
lot of good
Rich and
people
I
there.
got close together during the COVID time because, like
Mm-hmm.
I said, we couldn't come in here because,
Yeah.
rules and regulations. So we went out. He had the camera, and we'd do the interviews. And we even had the mayor call on the phone, give us an update of what the state information was that week, and so on. So then he was new to the city, and so it showed BASF Park, Memorial Park, and all this stuff. Like, wow, you got an awful lot, And then we even did some things in back of the American Legion, the Detroit River, and that, and yeah.
Yeah, I think he was originally from California and came here.
Originally from Gibraltar.
Oh, was he?
went to
And then he went to
California.
California, yeah, okay.
He got.
Yeah, I knew California was in there somewhere.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
a really good videographer, yeah.
Yeah, he loves doing that, and so we keep in touch. He'll say, "Okay."
We should have him come to the awards banquet
Yeah.
in September.
September.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think, so every year we, the Little Trenton Theater, we have premiere night, pretty much, and, all the films are shown, all the kids all get acknowledged, they come up on stage, and then we show all their films, and it's just a really fun evening, friends, family. Everybody comes, we don't charge for the tickets, everybody just comes, and we usually fill the theater.
The
I've
the
been there.
energy's up there.
Yeah, you've been there. So it's every year. So this year I think it's going to be in September. We don't really have any date, locked in
Okay.
yet. But we're thinking September. Yeah.
So you'll let us know, and we
Yeah.
can come down again.
Yeah,
okay.
and I think
Yeah.
they'll be maybe selling some of those comics there too, so
Yeah.
people
Well,
are gonna pick
sure.
up a few of those.
Well, that's something else. It's a
Maybe even have
business.
maybe even having the students sign them.
Yeah.
Well, why
Have
not?
the artists sign them, yeah.
Yeah, because you have no idea where that's going to go for the future.
Oh, yeah,
Right,
right.
right.
Yeah.
We have no idea what they're gonna grow up to be.
No.
Most of them are gonna be something special, but from what I can tell.
So you do have 44 people. I know last year when I talked to him, he said there was a list yet. Are you still taking more if you can? Or how are you working it?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'd have to ask the boss.
Yeah.
Generally, they're recommended to the group.
Okay.
And Scott, they go through an interview process, and that's
Yeah.
how they pick. But yeah.
But you know what? That's got to be hard for the kid. First of all, they probably say, "Oh, I didn't want to really go there," but once he gets there and feels confident that you're a buddy of mine, you're not going to slap me around. You're going to try to help me. I think that
Yeah.
that time between the two of them
Yeah.
gets thick, and if, like you said, after a length of time, you're like losing somebody. They're leaving you, well, just like
It
your
was
kid
nice.
does.
Yeah, right. A lot of them come back and visit, which is
Yeah?
awesome.
Oh, that's
Or
good. Good.
we've had some court ordered kids, and then they stay, even past their court ordered time.
Yeah.
So that's awesome.
Yeah,
And,
Scott's philosophy, the core of it's a restorative program, not a program where they
not punitive. It's
punitive. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
restorative.
So it's restorative.
Just to try and, and I think, and then, like I said, I mean, it's such an eclectic group, right? We have
Yes.
straight A kids, we have, kids that struggle, we have kids that are just so quiet and they just
Then when
finally
they start
find their
blossoming
buddy.
out,
and,
Oh,
yeah,
they got the talent.
Wow.
yeah,
Absolutely.
you know.
all that hidden.
And some of the
Yes.
kids come in, they don't know what to expect, right? But
Right.
generally, especially with the way we introduce everybody with the big group, first I think it can be intimidating, but quickly, you know, they're just
Yeah.
having fun and,
That's
and,
okay.
and we do that makeup. Our makeup artist comes in and they get to make scars and blood and guts and they're all in after that.
That's right.
Heck, that's something else.
I got
Yeah.
to do my magic trick then.
Yeah, yeah.
They had
so-
all kinds of cuts and things. They were,
Yeah.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're enjoying it too.
Oh, I have so much fun at them. It's just, they're enjoying, the kids are enjoying themselves, so that makes me enjoy it.
Yeah.
That's great. That's
Absolutely.
great. Give you guys credit. Let's hope it keeps on. And, well, it's just like everything else, right? If you like it and you love it and you feel it's, hey, it's here, it's what it should
Right.
be.
It's not even work.
And it works
Yeah.
because you had enough years in it to see the results, especially like
Yeah.
you said, the students coming back and helping
Yeah,
out.
that's great.
And
yeah.
it doesn't feel like work. It feels like play.
Well, that's okay.
Yeah.
Well, if you're going to paint too,
Yeah.
that's play, but you have to know how to paint.
Yes. Well, I can teach you if you need to, if you want to learn.
Okay.
I've been trying to get Scott to paint for
Oh,
5
yeah?
years now. Yeah.
Yeah.
He won't take me up on it. I'll get him one of these
Well, what was the name of his shows though that he did film? He had actually some films that he.
days. Yeah. He had
Oh,
some-
before we did the kids
Yeah.
program, there was some films in there, The Tank, and you're putting me on the spot now. But we had some funny ones. He kind of had an eclectic mix of some prison stuff and then some
Yeah.
funny cowboy ones. And
he's
yeah,
he's creative. Yeah.
Yeah.
he's-
It was a start. Let's see
Yeah.
what happens there.
Yep.
Hey, see, half hour already went by, and you were worried about coming back. Okay, keep us informed.
Okay.
Already, and thanks for coming.
Thank you.
And thank you for watching. We'll see you next time on Up, Down, and Around Town. Bye now. Okay.